Good Saturday morning to you guys. So my oil change videos are pretty popular, and I showed a engine dynamic cleaning basically run through with BG system dynamics, or engine cleaning system dynamics. It's a pretty extensive kit. It has an oil with a detergent cleaning side. It also has a another type of oil with a little bit more severe, like sulfuric acid mixture in it that actually starts to eat away stuff. A lot of people didn't like what I had to say. A lot of people didn't like the fact that there were some comments made in the background from other technicians and stuff about sending a vehicle to an auction. And what a lot of the clowns that were responding don't understand is a lot of dealers don't deal with the public. They deal with other dealers at the auctions. They deal with other automotive facilities and stuff at the auctions. They don't deal with you and me. We can't just go up, or we can't just show up to a lot of these and buy vehicles. You have to be a dealer with a license and stuff like that, and then they choose what they want to do with the vehicles. They choose whether they purchase them or they don't purchase them. They have buyers that go there with them, with mechanics and stuff like that, to check out the vehicles, to say yay or nay, buy it or don't buy it. So I got a lot of this crazy feedback from people. Oh, you hear that guy in the background say he's going to send it to the auction? Yeah, another dealer is going to check out the vehicle and see if it's worth their time and money to put timing chains or a new motor in this vehicle that's in great shape, and then turn around and resell it at a cheaper cost. You know, maybe he'll get that vehicle, you know, that 14 F-150 with timing chains rattling and everything else, and sludge in the motor for $5-6 grand, and then turn around and put a $5,000 motor in it and sell the vehicle for $25,000, make a $10,000-$15,000 profit. Who knows? A lot of them have wholesale mechanics that will do that stuff for them and do the job right, and then they still make a profit off of it. It all depends on what's going on that month, what's in the budget that month, and how backed up you are with work to get that vehicle in the shop to get it worked on. So a lot of the craziness on people leaving comments and stuff about, oh, that's why you don't go buy cars from auctions and stuff like that, because these dealers screw you over. What are you guys talking about, man? A lot of you that don't have anything to do with the business, that are these chatterboxes on the internet that have all these opinions and ideas, don't know your ass from a hole in the ground in a lot of these situations, man. A lot of drama, a lot of men acting like little babies that just can't even compose themselves, can't ask questions to actually get a good answer from somebody professional in the field that knows what's going on, but instead just draws up their own conclusions and shoots off at the mouth like they actually know what the hell they're talking about. I wish some of you would just literally shut the hell up sometimes and just let people explain things to you. Ask questions and let that ego go. Let the ego go for a little bit and just ask questions about, hey, I heard somebody in the background say that truck's going to go to auction. What does that entail? Can you explain to me what type of auction we're talking about? Oh, sure, yeah. It's an auction that all the dealers go to see if they want to buy another dealer's problem, another dealer's, you know, high mileage vehicle that there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, or just a complete piece of junk that they may want to put the time and money into that they may make a lick in the long run. Sure, it's not open to the public, it's open to other dealers. But people don't ask those questions. Well, here's another thing. Blackstone Labs says, you know, that my oil interval, I've heard this several times the last week, my oil change interval seems to be optimal at 6,000 miles or 7,700 miles or 10,000 miles. Well, that's great for Blackstone Labs. I get that there's a purpose for those guys, because there really is. But would you go to the doctor and the doctor says, hey, take this shot. Go ahead and take this shot right here. It's tested, it's approved, it's good to go. Just take that shot. But then go out in the public and see everybody else growing horns out of their head, or a special kind of person after getting that shot. Well, the doctor said it was okay, so I should be fine. Well, Blackstone Labs says 7,700 miles should be okay. I should be fine. And then you come out and you see somebody like me that's ripping these motors apart, literally dropping engines in a matter of a few hours on live to show you guys exactly what's going on inside these things. Pulling the pans off, pulling the cylinder heads off, pulling pistons out, showing you what they look like at 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 mile oil change intervals. Guess what? I'm not Blackstone Labs, and I don't have the type of technology and education and information that they have on what's going on inside the products, but I can show you what the fucking product's doing inside the motor. I can show you what the product's doing inside that oil pan, the cylinder heads, in between those ring lands. A vehicle just came in not too long ago with 18,000 miles on it. The lady's been in the shop 3 times in 18,000 miles for an oil change, and guess what? The motor looked like complete dog shit. Sludge in the oil pan, sludge in the cylinder heads. And when I pulled that number 2 piston out for you guys and showed you all of the shit, varnish and carbon, coked up, burned up stuff in between the ring lands, yeah, I guess Blackstone Labs said 7,700 miles was a good oil change interval, so that should be optimal, right? Because Blackstone Labs says it's okay for everybody. Well, I've been changing the oil in my vehicle every 10,000 miles since brand new, and everybody else should do that too. If it's good for me, it's good for all of them. No, it's not. You have a naturally aspirated Hemi and a Dodge. You may be able to get away with that a little bit longer. Or you have a 5.7 and a Toyota. You may be able to get away with that a little bit longer. But these boosted engines that have a shit ton of blow-by, that's not just your old standard pushrod engine, they need oil services a lot sooner and more often. The closer you can get your oil services, your maintenance intervals together, no matter what, this is not even arguable. None of you can even argue this with me. The more you change your oil, the more you change your coolant, the more you change your trans fluid. I'm not talking every 1,000 miles, guys. Be realistic here. Don't dramatize the comment section. Understand what I'm saying, coming from a person, a technician, a master technician in the field, doing this shit every day, pulling these motors, these transmissions, pulling this stuff apart every single day. I'm tired of arguing and debating stuff with people. I do this. I see what's going on inside these motors. I'm not opinionated like you guys that have an opinion based on what somebody else has done. I physically work in the field with the rest of these technicians that see the same thing. A lot of you guys are complete fucking full of shit. I'm going to call it like it is. A spade is a spade. A lot of you are these internet jockeys that like to talk back and forth and, no, it worked for me. It worked for me. I've done it my whole life. You don't see the volume of vehicles that I see every single day. You don't go into these motors like I do every single day. You're not in these recalls and warranties and stuff every single day to see what's going on. You're not seeing the vehicles come off the fucking truck before they even make it on the street with problems from the factory like I do almost every single day. Every day. There's a huge problem we have right now with Ford. Ford is having tons of issues right from the factory that you guys don't even fucking know about. But I guess you know more about that than me too, right? So, because you have a naturally aspirated engine and you can get by with 5,000 to 7,000 miles, 10,000 miles, that means everybody else should do it too, right? So that's why you pop up in the comment section and call somebody a fool or a liar or whatever else, because it worked for you, so it should work for all of them. Wrong. Completely wrong. Boosted engines need more care, sooner care. They typically generate more power on the equivalency of their counterpart in the naturally aspirated realm. There's more blow-by, there's more garbage in that motor. There's a reason why these engines look like they do at 4,000 and 5,000 mile oil change intervals with sludge buildup. 7,000 miles is not going to cut it. Blackstone Labs is not going to be able to tell you what the optimal 100% true oil change interval is based on what's going on inside that motor, because they're not ripping your shit apart to see what's going on with your motor. You know, I have vehicles with 40,000 miles on them that look like they got 150, 200,000 miles on them. I got vehicles that have, the last one I did where I showed you guys the valves on that 1.5 EcoBoost, it's a direct injection engine. It looks like trash inside that motor. At 42,000 miles, it looked like the valves had 400,000 miles on them. And a port injected 400,000 mile motor would have been 1,000% cleaner than this direct injection 1.5 EcoBoost at 42,000 miles. The valves had carbon upon carbon upon carbon upon carbon on every single one of them. It looked like they could barely even shut. Luckily, they had the mechanical feature of the spring actually helping the valves get sucked back up into the head to push whatever kind of junk was on the actual skirt of the valve off. It was that bad. So whatever your opinion is on what your oil change interval should be, you need to rethink that. Just because some YouTuber or Scotty Kilmer, the clickbait king of the world, I'm going to say something this time, and then next time it's going to be something completely different. And every day I'm leaving and I'm quitting my job or I'm retiring Scotty Kilmer, the granddad entertainment of the automotive social media world. Y'all need to get off his damn skirt tail and start coming back to reality and realize that a lot of the shit he says is for entertainment purposes. It's not for automotive fact. He's been out of the field too long now. He doesn't work on these newer tolerance engines, the tighter tolerance engines. He doesn't know about the new technology. As a matter of fact, a lot of the stuff he talks about when it comes to Ford engines in general and their transmissions and stuff, it's not even beginning to be the first part of the truth. But he's good entertainment. I like his history videos. I think he does a good job narrating. I think he's a very good granddad educator of the automotive field. But when he starts to get into the nitty-gritty of the specifics in these manufacturers, he doesn't know. He's been out of the field too long. He's old technology. He's that old dinosaur that's still around. He still does have a purpose. He still does bring enjoyment to the automotive field, but he doesn't know what's going on with this new stuff. So a lot of you that are, oh, Scotty said this, Scotty said that, I don't give a shit what Scotty said. I like watching his history videos on, you know, how things came about. He's great at that. But when it comes to brand new technology, it's all clickbait shit. He doesn't even come close to explaining things. So I just want to make a lot of that clear. First and foremost is a lot of you think you know and you have no idea. Watch some of my older videos pulling these motors and stuff apart, and you'll enlighten yourself on what's going on with these oil change intervals. Realize just because somebody says that 7,000 mile or 10,000 mile oil changes is optimal, it really isn't. The closer you can get to that old standard 3,000 mile oil change is going to be, the better off you are. I think 5,000 would be max. 4,000 would be a little bit more acceptable. 3,000 is optimal. I look inside my motor at 3,000 miles with 227,000 miles on my car, and it's pristine. There's no carbon, there's no coking buildup, there's no nothing going on. It is literally like fresh fluid. Every time I drop the oil, there's barely any color to it at all. It's because I change my shit. I never have problems with my vehicle. I have a 2001 Dodge Ram, 176,000 miles on it. Every 2,500, 3,000 miles, oil's changed. And I use a conventional oil in that, just a good conventional oil, like a regular Pennzoil conventional oil. I don't put anything special on that truck. My 2006 Lincoln Town Car, 4.62 valve, like brand new. No dirt, no nothing. Never. It comes out dirty. I use a full synthetic, either a Pennzoil or something name brand. I'm doing a special right now where I'm actually testing different manufacturers. Never dirt, never discoloration, nothing at all. I see these people come in at 5,000 mile oil change intervals, just as black and as nasty and sludgy as can be. Just terrible looking oil. You just put your finger in it and smell it. It smells of fuel real bad because so much blow by and stuff going on in these engines. It's been contaminated for so long. I don't want that in my engine. Alright, enough ranting. I've said what I've said. Y'all have a great weekend.